The GOP budget bill is 1,116 pages long, but it boils down to this one simple fact. Republicans are facilitating a massive transfer of wealth to the richest Americans while making cuts that would rip away healthcare and food from millions of people. It's Robin Hood in reverse. And that is correct, right? That's part of the reason Elon Musk is in government right now and why he's so unpopular. You know, Donald Trump, along with the help of Elon Musk, are essentially making sure that the rich get richer, giving tax cuts to the rich, while this bill is effectively going to take millions of people off their health insurance. It's cutting Medicaid, it's cutting Medicare, and it's cutting food stamps, all while adding $5 trillion to deficit. Yes, $5 trillion. So again, if you think about this, Elon Musk is telling the American people, oh, I'm here to, save America money with Doge and all these things. Meanwhile, we're adding $5 trillion to the deficit, and we're not even getting anything for it. It's not like we're investing, money, spending money on you and I and infrastructure and these things. No, we're just making room, adding to this deficit for tax cuts for the rich. It is absolutely disgusting. This is from Senator Mark Kelly, just today, his tweet. In the middle of the night, House Republicans jammed through their bill that helps rich people and hurts working families. While they take healthcare and food assistance from working people, the really rich get another handout. Arizonans deserve better, and I'm going to fight this in the Senate. He beautifully said from Mark Kelly. Again, this GOP bill, absolutely, positively disgusting. So again, you start to wonder if Elon Musk is so unpopular, and these things that Republicans are doing right now in the House of Representatives, passing these budget bills, are incredibly unpopular, then why is Elon Musk even doing any of this in the first place? Why would Elon Musk put himself in this position to be so unpopular, for the American people to see through the BS and say, this guy doesn't care about anybody but himself. He's just, again, there to get richer and help all his friends get richer with bills like this. Why would he do this? Well, the answer is pretty simple, because this article, by the way, from NBC stunned me when I first saw it. Elon Musk's regulatory troubles have begun to melt away in Trump's second term. The Trump administration has halted some regulatory matters involving Musk's company and fired people from agencies investigating Tesla, SpaceX, and Neuralink. The White House is pay to play, right? We all know this. The whole reason Elon Musk has done this and put himself in the crossfire is because he gets to save his own ass. Not only does he get his tax cuts, but he's close to the president of the United States. He can make his other friends, rich and wealthy. And in doing that and helping everybody, his own problems go away. Because we're in a time in American history now where our democracy is really taking some punches, to say it lightly. And so the government it's a favor machine, right? If you're close to Trump, you get what you need. Tech billionaire Elon Musk's regulatory problems have started to fade into the past. Since the start of the second Trump administration, federal agencies that have scrutinized Musk and his businesses' empires in recent years have begun to look a lot different. At the Department of Agriculture, for example, the President Donald Trump fired the person who had been investigating the Musk company Neuralink. At other agencies, including the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, Trump and Musk have tried to slash the numbers of employees, potentially hobbling those regulators' ability to enforce the law against companies, including Musk's Tesla and X. And in more than 40 other federal agency matters, regulators, have taken no public action on their investigations for several months or more, raising questions about whether those cases may have become dormant, according to an NBC News review of regulatory matters involving Musk's companies. Those matters range widely from safety investigations into Tesla's, quote, self-driving features to alleged workplace safety violations at SpaceX. So again, the whole reason that Elon Musk is here in the first place and is willing to be dealing with numbers like this, where his favorability is in the toilet and Americans hate him, is because he's self-serving. He's getting tax cuts, right? He's going to benefit himself from this bill that Republicans just passed, and because, it's pay to play. When he has problems, he goes to Trump, and Trump fixes those problems. But in all of that, right, what did we just hear from Elon Musk in the last week? That he may be stepping aside from donating money. The bullying worked. I want you to take a look at this clip really quick.
I think in terms of political spending, I'm going to do a lot less in the future.
And why is that?
I think I've done enough.
Is it because of blowback?
Well, if I see a reason to do political spending in the future, I will do it. I do not currently see a reason.
Yeah, it's a pretty damning non-answer there at the end. Is it because of blowback? A pause, and it's like, well, and just kind of avoids the question. The answer is yes, right? Yes, because he is incredibly unpopular, and partly because he's gotten what he's needed. Because truly, even just this alone, obviously all of the things the Trump administration has done, we've seen a violation of due process over and over and over again, ignoring federal judges, ignoring SCOTUS, right? The awful things he's done, implementing these tariffs, destroying a lot of our relationships around the world. I mean, the list goes on. This alone, right here, this self-serving, where like Elon Musk can just buy his way into government, you know, get some of these regulatory concerns out of the way and then leave. It's a bigger scandal than Watergate, right? It makes Watergate look like this, you know, nothing. And that's essentially where we're at in American history, that more people need to understand, and why I'm so passionate about making these videos is like, this is not a normal time, right? This is insane that Elon Musk gets to come in, buy his way into politics, try to, you know, buy elections, and then leave. Now, partly this is good, though, because he's leaving because of blowback. He's leaving because of you and I watching these videos, talking to friends and family, and seeing through the BS. We're not going to let him come, you know, buy elections. We won a Wisconsin Supreme Court election, the most expensive judicial race in history. It secured abortion rights for the state of Wisconsin. Elon Musk tried to buy that race. We didn't let him, right? And so now I think he's finally starting to realize this blowback. And so I loop it all back, again, to some of these numbers for Elon Musk. Absolutely insane. Let's take a look.
Now down to minus 91 points. You can't really go lower than that. I guess you could go down to minus 100 points, but he became political kryptonite. He was greatly disliked by the American public and greatly disliked by Democrats. And obviously we saw that in Wisconsin when, of course, he spent all that money and then the liberal won that Supreme Court race.
Yes. How has that plummet of popularity impacted the brand?
Yeah, exactly right. So this is Elon Musk individually. How about Tesla? Okay, let's take a look. The net favorability rating. Look, General Motors, we're going to compare General Motors and Tesla. General Motors, quite well liked by the American people, plus 23 points on net favorability rating. But look at Tesla, minus 20 points. So this idea that Tesla could somehow separate itself out from Elon Musk, the American people saw it the exact same way. And of course, Tesla is a business. They're in the business of selling cars. Awfully difficult to sell cars when you have a minus 20-point net favorability rating driven by Elon Musk's net favorability rating right around the same mark. And it's not a big surprise that Tesla sales had fallen in the past, at least in the first quarter, compared to where they were a year ago. It turns out that Elon Musk's political kryptonite was also becoming kryptonite for selling cars.
So, well, and the one person maybe that matters to Elon Musk, maybe, well, other than his investors, would be Donald Trump. How has Trump's view of him shifted?
Yeah, so, you know, we're talking about Tesla here, but of course he's leaving the political game. Okay, Trump loved talking about Elon Musk at the beginning of his administration. Trump posts about Musk on Truth Social. Look at this, from January 20th to April 4th, he posted about 40 times. Look, from April 5th onward, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Donald Trump knows brands very well. He knows political brands, and he knows Elon Musk's political brands time had run out, and therefore Elon Musk taking a step back from politics.
It also might be a favor to Elon Musk.
Yeah.
That is an absolutely insane statistic. From January 20th to April 4th, Donald Trump has posted 40-ish or more times about Elon Musk on Truth Social, and now since April 5th, today is May 22nd, 0, right? A lot of this backfiring has worked from us. He is, as the CNN host put it, political kryptonite. If we scroll all the way back, right, I apologize because I started the video a little late, but what he's referencing in the beginning of the minus 91, he's underwater with Democrats 91 points. In 2017, amongst Democrats, he was, you know, plus 20-ish, plus 17. He was a popular guy. And even amongst Republicans, he is underwater, right? Tesla, underwater. Donald Trump's not talking about it. And so he's taking a step back, because finally he's realized the game is up. The game is up, right? And now what we need to do is fight against this bill from Republicans that are making the rich richer and going to cut millions of people off of their health insurance, cut food stamps, right? And help people like Elon Musk instead of the American people. And we also need to make sure we're still talking about this, because while Elon Musk tries to run away and hide, we're not going to forget things like this. He needs to be held accountable, especially for the other businesses that he's running that could have regulatory issues. Listen, I really appreciate you watching this video. That's going to be it for me. Again, my name is...
Don't know. Stats Canada. First of all, Stats Canada is awesome. I am a huge fan of Stats Canada. They have been posting to Reddit. Believe it or not, Stats Canada is an active Reddit poster who are kind of all over the place on our good friend Reddit. So I want to talk about two different things that they have shared. So let's go over here. We got our daily article. We'll come back to this one in a second. This is, yes, they post memes, they post Instagram, they post graphics. They're memeing. They meme. They meme. They've been making memes. And they got taken down by the mods of On Guard for Thee. So this is, as far as I know, this is actually Stats Canada. As far as I know, this is actually Stats Canada. I think that's pretty cool. Meeting people where they are is a good thing to do. And so sharing Canadian stats on Reddit, great idea. This is super interesting to me. We have spending data for 2023, and there is a lot to talk about here. In 2023, average spending by Canadian households totaled $76,750, up 14% from 2021 and 11% from 2019. This increase was mainly because of higher spending on transportation and on shelter and food. I want you to really think about that for a second. People's spending on transportation has gone way up. Interesting that it was higher pre-pandemic. I'm guessing that's because people traveled a little more. But food up nearly 20%. Food up nearly 20%. Housing up just around 15%. Household operations, compare, furnishings and equipment, up $1,400 from 2019. Recreation up $600. Healthcare and personal care up $800. People's costs are climbing fast. Now, one of the big increases in transportation costs has been an increase in air travel, package trips, bunch of different stuff here. You're seeing a lot of stuff like food and alcohol being fairly steady. But people are spending tons on gas. People are spending tons on transportation. People are spending tons on just maintaining their standard of living. Folks are spending so much money just to keep their heads above water. Average spending on shelter is just under $30,000 a year, $27,800. Homeowners without mortgages spent an average of $13,750 on shelter, while those with mortgages spent $38,718. Mortgage payments accounted for more than half this total and increased by 15% from 2021. That is wild, my friends. On average, homeowners with mortgages who make up more than half of homeowners spent 37.2% of their total consumption on shelter, the highest proportion recorded since 2010. Condo fees up 52% from 2021, the largest two-year increase observed since 2010. Renters spending is going up too. Renters are spending 20% more than they did in 2021. Of this, $15,272 went to rent, up 16.9%. We're just boiling through money here, friends. Now, the spike in air travel is a weird one. I don't have a great explanation for that one. But you can see the category growth here. It's shelter and it's food. This is just a reminder again and again and again that costs are skyrocketing. But like what this is people aren't spending more money to get luxuries here. People aren't spending more money to get luxuries. They're not spending this money on like Legos. They are spending it on the necessities of life. They're spending it on housing, they're spending it on food, and they're spending it on transportation. That's really the heart of it, folks. And so these non-optional expenses are becoming a problem. Here's what's very interesting. In 2023, one-person households accounted for 30% of households, a proportion that has gradually increased since first measured. That's concerning. More people are living alone. Among all household types, one-person households were those which reported the highest share of total consumption allocated to shelter. That makes sense because they don't have anybody to split with, while having the lowest share in transportation. Again, makes sense. Couples without children had the highest share allocated to recreation. Act surprised if you don't have kids, you get to spend more money on fun. They have the highest share allocated to recreation and the lowest share allocated to shelter. Couples without children spent on average $33,000 more on goods and services than couples with children spent $33,000 more on goods and services than couples without children. So you want a kid? Hope you got 33 grand knocking around annually. Worth noting, there's big regional variance here. Big regional variance here. It is a lot cheaper to live in Ontario. It is a lot more expensive to live in Ontario. It is extremely expensive to live in Alberta. Now, what's interesting is how much of the Alberta spending is on other expenditures. Not sure what to make of that, but it does seem very notable, doesn't it? There's lots and lots of interesting stuff here. More to talk about. This is a breakdown of interprovincial trade. And this is so interesting. This is the proportion of businesses who conducted interprovincial trade in the 12 months preceding the survey. This survey was run, give me the dates, June 18th to October 15th, 2024. So as a result, the 12-month business period fell between June 18th, 2023 and October 15th, 2024. This is pre-Trump. Let's be very clear. This data is pre-Trump, pre-tariff. It's important we point that out. It's important we be aware of that. So the darker color, that sort of burnt orange, is companies that were selling goods and services to customers in another province or territory. The yellowy sort of color is purchase goods or services from suppliers in another province or territory. So buying and selling. Couple of things to note. Right, you have, when you see this proportion of businesses, 26% selling goods, 41% buying goods. This is really interesting to me. What do you glean from this disconnect? There are far fewer companies selling goods than there are buying them. What do you glean from? What's your takeaway? So I'm seeing some folks saying prefer to sell to smaller other countries. No, internal. Okay, you clearly got it. It's big sellers. It's big sellers selling most of this stuff. So a lot of this stuff that you're seeing sold here, let's head over here. Once you get into things like manufacturing, a lot of that stuff is being hauled around within Canada. So a lot of this stuff is things that we are selling as supplies, like steel, like lumber. And a lot of that comes from a small number of companies, like oil. A lot of that comes from a small number of companies. So a lot of the purchasing is being done broadly, and a lot of it's being sold by a smaller number of companies. A couple of things worth noting here. Saskatchewan. Interesting proportion here. We are not selling a lot interprovincially, right? And what becomes more clear as you look around here is that there is a pretty significant disproportionate nature to trade in Western Canada here. right? Western Canada is buying a lot and selling less. It is much more balanced once you get into Eastern Canada, specifically Quebec and Ontario. Once you get in the Maritimes, same sort of thing. Is that connected to regional alienation? Maybe. These are extraction economies, right? And so, but again, this is about proportion, not raw numbers. So it could just be that a lot of the power is being held by small groups. Yeah, none of it's interesting here. The territories are all very interesting. They're not outputting a ton and they're buying a ton. And that's not that surprising. Particularly when you recognize, like, they're going to be importing tons of their food. They're going to be importing tons of things like lumber even. Basically, all of the materials for housing they're going to be needing to bring in from other provinces. I had the good fortune of taking a number of master's classes with somebody who was working in school administration in Iqaluit. I did my education master classes over the summer, and Iqaluit sent this person down to go do their masters over the summer. And I learned so much about that person. What I didn't realize is how much places like Iqaluit depend on barges. Like, they got, semi-regular barges. She was telling me about how, like, they had to wait for their barbecue to come in on a barge. It's just really, really interesting stuff. The 3 sectors most likely to conduct interprovincial trade: wholesale trade, manufacturing, and information and cultural industries. Isn't that interesting? So what are the obstacles? What were identified as the obstacles in these organizations? It's transportation. The biggest issue is transportation costs. The biggest issue here is transportation costs. How do you bring those transportation costs down? Rail expansion. Rail expansion. You expand rail. More rail all the time. Like, friends, if you are seeing mountains and mountains of semis on the road, one of your first thoughts should be, why isn't all that stuff on trains? Trucks are really well suited for last mile stuff, but trains are so much more affordable in a lot of different ways. So yeah, what you're going to find is, it's interesting. A lot of these interprovincial trade barriers are transportation costs. But also, there are trucking costs here too. Having a bunch of different trucking regulatory regimes around the country makes it very, very hard to have cheap and effective shipping between different provinces. It adds a whole layer of challenges to this. Yes, May Likes Toronto, renationalizing CN Rail or any of those rail organizations would be a huge step forward. But yeah, I wanted to just take some time to share some really interesting stuff from Stats Canada, because Stats Canada are posting to Reddit, and that needs to be highlighted. Take care of yourselves, folks.
Alright, breaking news. The Trump admin just got slapped in the face after sparking another intense legal showdown with Harvard University. So a judge just came out with a 72-page ruling. In it, the judge cites Trump's own Truth Social posts in order to essentially say, dude, you can't do this. This is retaliatory, this is illegal, and you can't just remove the academic autonomy from one of the nation's top institutions by stripping their ability to have international students. It's absolutely insane, and that's about a quarter of their student body. So, as we do, I want to break down the actual court document. We're going to go and we're going to surgically We're going to concisely explain why the Trump admin is taking illegal actions, and then we'll have a broad overview of why this is harmful, wrapped all into a 10-minute video. If you appreciate what I do, make sure you drop a like. And naturally, YouTube doesn't promote the truth sometimes, so if you subscribe, become a part of the 30% of people who watch my videos that are subscribed, it would mean the world to me. Let's just start here. Let's start broadly. A federal judge has temporarily halted the Trump administration's ban on Harvard University's ability to enroll international students. U.S. District Court Judge Allison Burroughs ruled hours after the nation's oldest and wealthiest college filed the suit on Friday. It only took hours for the judge to rule. Harvard argued revocation of its certification of the Student and Exchange Visitor Program was, quote, clear retaliation for its refusal of the government's ideologically rooted policy demands. Simple. Burroughs is the same judge considering a separate lawsuit from Harvard challenging the admin's freeze of $2.65 billion in federal funding, but with this one, she ruled quite quickly to halt and file a temporary restraining order. Harvard's latest complaint argues the decision Thursday
Today I will show you how to set up StreamerBot. You may have known that I'd made the same video a few months ago, but it's 2025 by the time you're watching this video, so you all need a tutorial. So let's get into it. First, go to the link, then press the big button here. Then go to your downloads in File Explorer, right click the streamerbot.zip file and click extract. Then find streamer.bot.exe and double click it. It will bring up a warning. Just press more info and click run app. When StreamerBot is open, go to the Stream Apps tab and click OBS. Now right click anywhere in Apps tab. When StreamerBot is open, go to the Stream Apps tab and click OBS. Now right click anywhere on the white blank canvas and click add. Give it a name like Q Ocean. Don't name it that, that's creepy. Now StreamerBot will need to get access to your OBS setup by using something called WebSocket Server. So go to your OBS Studio, then click Tools, then click WebSocket Server Settings, then click the Studio using something called WebSocket Server. So go to your OBS Studio, then click Tools, then click WebSocket Server Settings, then click the top Enable button, then click Generate Password, then click Apply. Then click Show Contact Information and copy your webhook IP address and your password. Then click Show Contact Password Enable button, then click Generate Password, then click Apply. Click Generate Password, then click Apply. Then click Show Contact Information and copy your webhook IP address and your password. Then go back to StreamerBot and paste your webhook IP address and your password into these two fields. Click Auto Connect and these two fields. Click Auto Connect and Auto Connect on Disconnect. That means that you don't have to do this every time you want to open up StreamerBot. Oh yeah, forgot to say, right click on your go to your connection, right click it and press connect, and it should say connected here, and it should show all your scenes and sources and all that stuff. I forgot to record that part, and I forgot to put that in my script. So yeah. Now go to the Platforms tab, then Twitch, then now go to the Platforms tab, then Twitch, then Accounts, then click this button and sign into your account. And then click this button and sign into your account and agree to the connection forms. You guys might be thinking, will StreamerBot steal my information? No, they won't, because I've been using their platform for almost 2 years, and they won't steal your information, I promise. Then click Auto Connect, and click Save. Now you're done setting up StreamerBot. Thank you so much for watching this video. If it was helpful, hit the like and subscribe buttons. I stream 3 nights a week on Twitch and here on YouTube. Days and times are displayed on screen.
Good morning, YouTube. I am Bearded Ink, and today we're going to cover channel points on Twitch using StreamerBot, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. We're going to figure out the limits, what we can and cannot do. We're going to learn everything you ever wanted to know about channel points, and then we're going to figure out how to make our own inside StreamerBot. And then towards the end, we're going to have a more advanced option for you, and I'll explain why we're going to do that in just a minute. But we're not going to delay today. This one should be a lot of fun, and hopefully we can make it kind of quick. So we're just going to get right into it, but we're going to stay right here first instead of going to the other show you screen so I can explain a few things, because there are some things that you need to know about channel points on Twitch, regardless of what bot you're using. So first off, you must be a Twitch affiliate or partner to have channel points on your stream. If you are not affiliated yet, you do not have the Twitch channel points option, which you will find on the dashboard. So once you become affiliated, then this tutorial will be more helpful for you. But even if you try to create channel points with StreamerBot,